Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will have a session on the classification of sounds. Yes, you were asking a question, Lima.
Yes, sir. In our previous class, you were talking that only vowel sound can go freely, continuously through the mouth, but in consonant sound can't go like that because there will be something friction during their pronunciation. But R is not any kind of vowel sound; it's completely a consonant. But when we pronounce that R, we are not getting any kind of friction. Like when we say "k," we are not getting anything like that friction. It goes freely the air from our mouth.
Sounds. And the question that she has raised just now, I will be responding to that question with reference to the classification of sounds. So, as she pointed out, that why the vowel sounds that are actually produced with open approximation of the articulators, the passive and the active articulators, they are wide open. And yet, why are these vowel sounds also called voice sounds? These are called
Yes.
voice sounds because the vocal cords are loosely held together and the air has to pass through it. Therefore, there is always a vibration when we articulate the sound, vowel sounds. And consonants, out of 24 consonants, only 9 are voiceless consonants. I also said that whenever we are producing the sounds, especially consonants, we are taking the help of the vowels because consonants cannot be independently produced without the help of vowels. Vowel is the cardinal sound that is essential for the production of any kind of speech sound. So today our topic is on the classification of sounds. So how can we classify the sounds in English? RP. By RP I mean received pronunciation. This received pronunciation term was introduced by Daniel Jones way back in 1907. He revised it in 17 and then he said that this word received pronunciation is not a kind of prescriptive form of pronunciation, but it is widely used form of pronunciation that he has recorded, especially in the public schools of England. So it has become a kind of standard English pronunciation. According to this received pronunciation, English language has 44 phonemes. So according to English RP, there are 44 phonemes. By phoneme, I remind you, phoneme is the smallest indivisible minimal unit of the language system. So it cannot be further divided. It has its own distinctive characteristic and can be classified. These 44 sounds in English RP can be broadly classified as vowel sounds and consonant sounds. So we know vowels in English language. There are 5 alphabets that denote the sounds that are called vowel. For the articulation of vowel sounds, the vocal cords are loosely held together. The pulmonic egressive airstream passes through the vocal cords that are loosely held together, producing a vibration sound. And after that, we have the passage of the air through the windpipe. And the air finally comes into the oral cavity. The soft palate is raised, thereby blocking the nasal passage. All the vowels are oral sounds. And when they pass through the oral cavity, the articulators that are located in the oral cavity, the active articulator and the passive articulator, they stay in open approximation. They do not come very close. There is always a wide opening and with minimal movement of the active articulator towards the passive articulator to some certain position, the airstream gets modified. So, airstream is modified by the articulators present in the oral cavity to produce vowel sounds. Although in alphabet order, we have only 5 alphabets in English: A, E, I, O, U. But in case of the sound system, out of 44 phonemes, English RP has 20 vowel sounds. These 20 vowel sounds are further classified into 2 types. One can be called pure vowels, the other can be called diphthongs. So 20 vowels are classified further into monophthongs and diphthongs. And these monophthongs means the tongue will take only one position. Mono, position of tongue, monophthong. While in case of diphthong, there will be a movement of the tongue, dip of the tongue, a glide of the tongue. Tongue is always an active articulator in the production of speech sounds. So there are 20 vowel sounds in English RP. Of these 20 vowel sounds, we have two types. Number one is monophthong. There are 12 monophthongs in English RP, and we have 8 diphthongs in English RP. So this is the first classification of the vowel. Just to recall, in English RP there are 44 phonemes. These phonemes are minimal, distinct, indivisible unit of sound. And these sounds are classified as vowels and consonants. In English RP, there are 20 vowels and there are 24 consonants. This is the first fold classification. Vowels are defined as the cardinal sounds that are produced when, in English language, when the pulmonic egressive air stream passes through the glottis. The vocal cords are loosely held together and therefore the air has to pass through the narrow gap between the vocal cords, producing a vibration. All vowel sounds are produced with a vibration and are called voiced sounds. Once the air passes through the gap between the vocal cords and then through the trachea, the windpipe, it reaches the oral cavity. The soft palate is raised, thereby blocking the nasal passage. Therefore, all the vowel sounds in English RP are oral sounds. Number 3, when the air enters into the oral cavity, the active articulator and the passive articulator, they modify the air. So the articulatory organs are required for the modification of this air stream to produce the vowel sounds. In case of vowel sounds, the tongue acts as the active articulator and the roof of the mouth acts as the passive articulator. The vowels are produced, number 4, with the help of open approximation between the articulators. That means there is a wide gap between the articulators. The active articulator will never touch the passive articulator in the production of the vowel sounds. And as because vowels are produced without any kind of friction between the articulators, they are called pure sounds, cardinal sounds, that are produced without any kind of friction. In case of vowel sounds, when the vowel sounds are produced, the air stream is further modified by the lips. So this is the 5th type of classification of the sound of English RP called vowel. So lips can modify the sound into a rounded one, or the air can remain rounded. Lips can remain English RP that are also called voiceless consonants are p, t, k, h, th, ch, s, sh, so these are the h. Okay, these are the 9 consonants that are voiceless. And these voiceless consonants are produced when the vocal cords are wide apart. So if you put your palm on your throat, you will find that the friction is a bit less. And then also we have the vibration, because a consonant cannot be independently articulated without the help of a vowel sound. So when I pronounce f, t, k, h, th, ch, s, sh, p. So these are 9 voiceless consonants. But when I am articulating these sounds, I am taking the help of a vowel sound in order to articulate. All the vowels are voice sound. That means in case of the production of vowel sounds, the vocal cords will come together close and there will be a little gap in between the vocal cords. The vibration will be there. But these 9 consonantal sounds are different from other consonantal sounds that are called voiced consonantal sounds. So consonants, 24 in number in English RP, are classified into 2 types. Number 1, voiceless consonant. Number 2, voiced consonants. There are 9 voiceless consonants, while there are, together we have 15 voiced consonants. Voiced consonants are produced when the vocal cords come close together and they are loosely held together, leaving a narrow gap in between the vocal cords. The pulmonic egressive air stream that is coming out, expiring, passes through this loosely held vocal cords through the narrow gap in between these vocal cords, producing a buzzing sound. And therefore, these sounds are called voiced sounds. There are 15 voiced consonants in English RP along with 20 voiced vowels. So 20 plus 15, 35 English RP sounds are actually voiced sounds. So in consonant, out of 24 consonants in English RP, we have 15 voiced consonants. These voiced consonants are pronounced with a buzzing vibration of the vocal cords. Sounds like b, d, g, m, n, ang, all these sounds are voiced sounds. So apart from 9 voiceless consonants, all the 15 consonants in English RP are voiced consonants. So this is the first fold classification of consonants as voiced and voiceless. In the 3-term label, therefore, the first label that you are going to mention is what type of consonant is this, voiced or voiceless. Just to remind you about the list of voiceless consonant, try to remember this list. It is f, t, k, h, th, ch, s, sh, p. So these are 9 voiceless consonants. Apart from these 9 voiceless consonants, in English RP, we have 15 more consonants, which are called simply as voiced consonants. The second fold classification of consonantal sound is based on the manner of articulation. Okay, manner of articulation. By manner of articulation, I refer to the process by which a vowel is, a consonant is articulated, the entire manner of articulation for the production of that particular consonant sound. And the third label refers to the place of articulation. So these are the 3 basic types of classification that a consonant has. In order to learn about this classification, we have to go in details and talk about the description of the sounds. In T. Balasubramanian's A Textbook of English Phonetics for Indian Students, Chapter 4 is devoted to the classification of consonants, and we find a detailed discussion on the classification of consonants in this particular book. The writer of this book refers to different ways by which consonants are produced. Speech sounds that are primarily classified as vowels and consonants can easily be identified. Distinction can be drawn because vowel is a frictionless sound with open approximation, but also a voiced one. On the other hand, we have consonants that are either voiceless or voiced, that are classified according to the place of articulation, according to the manner of articulation. So this place of articulation and the manner of articulation, along with the position of the vocal cords, determine the type of consonant it is. So in order to describe a consonant sound, so I'm coming to the description of the consonant sound, we need certain important pieces of information. So we can make a list of this in order to describe a consonant sound in English RP. So in English RP, number one, all the consonants are produced with the help of pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. That means the air that is releasing out, being pushed by the muscles of the chest from the lungs, passing through the alveoli and the bronchioles, reaches the phonatory system consisting of a pair of vocal cords. So in case of consonants, the vocal cords are either wide apart, allowing the air to pass freely to produce voiceless consonants, or these vocal cords are loosely held together. So this is the second point. So first is all the consonants in English RP are produced with the help of pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. The second point is about the state of glottis, the position of the vocal cords, whether the vocal cords are wide apart or these vocal cords are loosely held together. Accordingly, we have two types of consonant sounds. Number one, the voiceless consonant sound. There are 9 voiceless consonant sounds in English RP. These 9 voiceless consonant sounds are f, t, k, th, th, ch, sh, ch, and p. Apart from these 9 consonantal sounds that are called voiceless consonant sounds, we have got 15 voiced consonants that are produced when the vocal cords are loosely held together and there is a narrow gap between the vocal cords. There is a buzzing sound when the air passes through the narrow gap between the vocal cords or the glottis, thereby producing a buzzing sound. Such consonants, 15 in number in English RP, are called voiced consonants. In the description of consonants, we should also refer to number 3, the position of the soft palate. The position of the soft palate in case of consonants can be classified into 3 types. Either it is raised, either it is partly lowered, or it is totally lowered. When the soft palate is totally raised, there is a total blockage of the nasal passage. Air has to pass through the oral cavity, and thereby we have oral sounds, oral consonants. So this is the first type of consonant that is produced with the help of soft palate. When the soft palate is raised, blocking the nasal passage completely, and we have a gap only in the oral cavity for the air to pass. So according to the position of the soft palate that is raised, oral consonants are produced. When this soft palate is partly lowered, air can pass from the air that is coming from the respiratory organ. This air can pass through the nasal passage as well as the oral passage. When the air can escape through both the passages, nasalized sounds are produced. In English RP, however, we do not have any nasalized consonants, although in other languages we do have as in French, on, e. These sounds are nasalized sounds. Even in Bangla RP or in Hindi RP, receipt pronunciation, we do have such sounds. But in English receipt pronunciation, we do not have nasalized sound that is produced when the air is escaping both through the oral passage and the nasal passage. The third type of consonant sound that can be produced according to the position of the soft palate. When the soft palate is lowered down, the entire oral passage is blocked. The air passes only through the nasal passage. Such sounds are called nasal sounds. In English RP, we do have 3 nasal sounds that are produced when the entire oral passage is closed. In the closing of the oral passage, either the lips are used or the tongue is used. In case of nasal sounds, we also have the lowering down of the soft palate to block the oral cavity. In English RP, sounds like ma, na, ang, 3 sounds are produced. And in the production of all the 3 sounds, we find that soft palate is lowered in the final section so that the air only passes through the nasal passage. Therefore, in the description of the consonant, this is the third point we should refer to. That is the position of the soft palate that classifies consonants into oral consonants, nasalized consonants, and nasal consonants. Next, for the description and classification of the consonantal sounds, we refer to the articulators that are involved. First, we talk about the active articulator that is involved in the production of the consonantal sounds. So there are 24 consonantal sounds in English RP, and these consonantal sounds are all distinctive sounds that cannot be further divided, indivisible. And yet, in the production of these consonantal sounds, we have the use of articulators. These articulators are not the same. Although the active articulator is the tongue, different parts of the tongue function as active articulator in the production of the consonantal sounds. For example, with the help of the tip of the tongue, we can only produce a distinctive type of consonant. With the help of, say, lower lip active articulator moving towards the upper teeth, we can produce a distinctive type of consonantal sound. So you cannot produce that type of consonantal sounds in some other way. So it is highly organized system of articulation. The articulatory organs are brain tuned in order to take certain positions so as to make the passage of air modified by the articulators to produce distinctive sounds. So in English RP, we have 24 consonant sounds that are further classified according to the active articulator involved in the production of such consonantal sounds. So active articulators, as I said earlier, can be classified into different parts: lower lip, tip of the tongue, the blade of the tongue, comprising the front of the tongue, the center of the tongue, and back of the tongue. So these articulators move towards the passive articulator, and the gap is modified. When the air passes through such gap, the air stream is modified to produce that particular sound. Say, for example, when the back of the tongue is raised towards the back of the roof of the mouth, we have the production of velar sounds in English RP. So when back of the tongue moves towards the velum or the soft palate, and the gap is there, air modified to produce velar sounds. Okay, like k, g. So when you articulate this, you will observe that the back of the tongue is raised. Please practice with me the sounds and find whether the back of the tongue is raised towards the back of the roof of the mouth. Try to produce the sound k, g. So in these sounds, you will find that it is the back of the tongue. But when you pronounce sounds like t, d, so you find that different type of articulator is used. Here we have the tip of the tongue closely touching the alveolar ridge. The air passes through the narrow gap in between the active articulator and the passive articulator. Therefore, for the production of these sounds, t and the, we have close approximation of the articulators, and here the articulator is distinct than the articulators that are used in the production of k and g sound, that are velar sounds. Apart from this, we have the fifth type of classification of the consonantal sound, and the description of the consonant should include what type of passive articulator is involved in the production of that particular sound. So passive articulator is located in the roof of the mouth and also contains the upper teeth. So these are passive articulators. So we have in English RP the use of passive articulator. Starting from the teeth, this passive articulator contains the joining between the teeth and the palate called the teeth ridge. Then we have the hard palate. Hard palate is also called the front of the roof of the mouth. Then we have a position in between the hard palate and the soft palate called the center of the roof of the mouth. And then at the back we have a soft palate called the velum, also called the soft palate. At the end we have a small tail-like dropping called uvula. So these are the parts of the roof of the mouth. While uvula is not involved as an articulator in the modification of the air stream, any kind of infection in the uvula can cause wrong pronunciation. That is only the function of uvula. It does not function as an articulator, as a passive articulator. But along with soft palate, it also is responsible for the flow of air to the oral and nasal cavity. So when we are infected, our throat is infected, the passage of the air through our windpipe or through our nasal cavity is affected because of the inflammation that is there in the uvula, the swelling that is there inside the oral or nasal cavity. Therefore, we cannot produce proper sound. Consonants are classified according to the distinctive passive articulators that are involved in the production of sounds. Say, for example, in the articulation of sound like f or v, we find that the lower lip, acting as an active articulator, is moving towards the upper teeth, and there is a narrow gap in between the active and the passive articulator. So try to produce the sounds f, v. So you will find that your lower lip is moving towards the upper teeth, and there is a narrow gap in between the articulators. So here we have the upper teeth functioning as the passive articulator. Similarly, in the production of velar sounds like k and g, it is the soft palate that is functioning as passive articulator. So when we articulate k, g, we find that the back of the tongue is moving very close to the soft palate and almost always touching it, thereby allowing the air to be modified by the narrow gap in between the articulators. And through this modification, the airstream has a distinctive sound like k, G. So according to the passive articulator, we have different types of sounds that are produced. Say for example, if I produce the sound T, okay, T, then T, okay, T, D. So we find that the front of the tongue, especially the tip of the tongue, is touching the alveolar ridge. T, D. But when we articulate sounds like th, th, the, so the is different than the, then, there, this, thanks, the. So we find in these cases the upper teeth is the passive articulator. Upper teeth is the passive articulator. The active articulator is the tip of the tongue, but the passive articulator is the upper teeth. S, when we produce sounds like s, n, z, l, s, t, d. Can you identify the passive articulator? Is it different? The passive articulator again is different. So according to the involvement of the passive articulator, the part of the passive articulator, we can further describe the vowel sounds. The entire process of movement of the active articulator towards the passive articulator for the production of consonant sound, or the modification of the pulmonic egressive air stream, involves stricture. So this can be the sixth point for the description of any consonantal sound, called the stricture. By stricture, I refer to the manner of articulation by which a consonant is produced, the manner by which the active articulator moves towards the passive articulator, and the air is modified. So according to this, we have close approximation of the articulators, or there are some consonants where we have the articulators remaining almost neutral, the active articulator almost remaining neutral without moving much closer to the passive articulator. So the stricture of open approximation or the close approximation, these are to be studied in the description of the consonant sounds. So these are to be discussed in detail for the classification of consonants. So we know what is airstream mechanism. We have learned that all English sounds are produced with the pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. That means the lungs, with the help of the muscles of the chest, the diaphragm, push the air out, and this air passes through the small tubular structures, tubes like bronchioles, and then reaches the windpipe, and through that we have the phonatory system. To the phonatory system, the air passes through trachea. Finally, it reaches the oral cavity. The soft palate regulates the flow of the air either through nose or through mouth. When we are normal breathing, our mouth is shut, the soft palate is lowered, and the air can easily enter into our respiratory organ. But when we are speaking, in case of speech, we produce a lot of oral sounds, and therefore the soft palate has to be raised in order to produce the oral sounds. We have also learned what the phonatory system is. A phonatory system consists of a pair of vocal cords that are located in the larynx or Adam's apple, with one end joined together and the other loosely held with the help of filaments. These vocal cords can stretch, and there can be a wide gap in between the vocal cords. Similarly, the vocal cords can come very close together, and there can be a narrow gap in between the vocal cords. The vocal cords practically determine the volume of air that is that is required for production of any consonantal sound. So according to the state of the glottis, speech sounds can be classified into voiceless or voice sound. If the vocal cords are wide apart, the glottis is wide open, voiceless consonants are produced in English RP. There are 9 voiceless consonants in English RP. These sounds are f, t, k, h, th, ch, s, sh, and p. When these vocal cords are loosely held together, the air has to force its movement through the vocal cords, and the vocal cords vibrate to produce voiced consonant sounds. There are 15 voiced consonant sounds in English RP like b, g, d. So these are all voice sounds. There are 15 voice sounds in English RP. According to the position of soft palate, English consonants can be classified as oral or nasal consonants. There are 21 oral consonants in English RP, and there are 3 nasal consonants in English RP. In case of the nasal consonants, the soft palate is lowered and the air is blocked. It cannot escape through the oral cavity. The air has to move out through the nasal cavity to produce nasal consonants. In English RP, we have got 3 nasal consonants. These are m, n, ang. If we just close our nostril, can we articulate these sounds? Let us try. If we close our nostril, shut the passage of air through the nose, can we produce these sounds? M, n, ang. So the sound that is coming out, if we close our nostril, nasal passage, the sound that we can hear is that of a vowel sound. The frictional consonantal sound, distinctive sound like m, n, ang, these cannot be heard. So out of 24 consonants in English RP, 3 consonants are nasal consonants produced when the soft palate is lowered and the air escapes through the nasal passage. Sounds like m as in mango, initial sound of the phoneme in mango, m, n, n, and then ang, n as in nest, n as in new, and finally ang as in king, ing, that produces the sound ang. So these 3 are nasal sounds that are produced when the vocal cords are m, na, ang. These are all voice sounds loosely held together. There is a vibration buzzing sound. The air enters into the oral cavity and the air has to then escape through the nasal cavity, and this is possible because of blockage in the oral cavity and the passage of air through the nasal cavity only, as in sounds like m, n, ang. The release of air in the case of these 3 consonantal sound is of course the nasal passage. Then we have number 3, the position of the soft palate, that can classify again the sound into oral and nasal passage, oral and nasal type. So when, just remember, when the soft palate is raised, air passing through the nasal passage is not allowed. There is a complete shut off, closing of the nasal passage of air. Air has to escape through the oral passage to produce oral sounds. Similarly, when the soft palate is lowered and the nasal passage is open, so air can simply escape through the nasal passage that produces nasal sounds. In some cases, we also have the instance of nasalized sound when the soft palate is partly lowered. The air can escape either through the oral passage or through the nasal passage simultaneously or together. The air can pass. These sounds are called nasalized sounds. In English RP, we do not have any nasalized sound, although in other languages like French, we have sounds like o, e. These sounds are there. O. So when you produce this sound o, you find that your mouth is also open and the air is also escaping through the oral passage, to the nasal passage. Similarly, e. In this case also e, e. Both the nasal passage and the oral passage allow the passage of the air expiring out of it. Pulmonic egressive air escapes out of the nasal passage as well as oral passage to produce nasalized sounds in French like on, bon, voyage, e, bronte, e. Next type of description refers to the active articulator and the passive articulator. What type of articulators are used in the production of the sound? According to the use of the articulators, the sounds can be classified into several types. And these types of various sounds of consonant can be classified according to the articulators involved. Usually the active articulator moves towards the passive articulator, and there is a close approximation of the articulators in case of the consonantal sounds. The part of the organ of speech that moves towards the passive articulator is called the active articulator. So these articulators remain active, move in the direction of articulators that remain passive. Such passive articulators are also responsible for the production of sound because the air passing through the narrow gap between the active articulator and the passive articulator modifies the air through a friction. Consonants are called frictional sounds because of this friction or the modification of the air by the active articulator and the passive articulator that further introduces a distinctive frictional sound for the distinction that is there in different consonantal sounds. In English RP, we have 24 consonantal sounds. All 24 consonantal sounds are produced with the help of articulators. Apart from the sound like h, in most of the articulators, we have the close approximation. In case of the production of sounds of most of these consonants, we have the close approximation of the articulators. So when we produce b, d, k, g, sa, za, la, na, we find that our tongue is moving very close to the roof of the mouth. And through the narrow gap in between the articulators, the voice, the air is modified to produce distinctive consonantal sounds. So for the production, you must always remember that for the production of any consonantal sounds, articulators are very important because it is the friction on the walls of the articulators that modify the air to produce distinctive consonantal sounds in English RP. Then we have the manner of articulation. After the place of articulation, we have the manner of articulation. That means the structure that is involved. The term stricture refers to the way in which the passage of the air is restricted by various organs of speech. So if we try to analyze the manner of articulation, we find that there are different types of or manners through which the air is modified. Number one, we have the example of the articulators leading to complete closure of the airstream. And after the complete closure of the airstream, there is a sudden release of the air. So the stricture can be called as complete closure. A stricture of complete closure in the manner of articulation. where we have a complete closure and then sudden release of the air. In this case, the active and the passive articulators will come together into a firm contact with each other. This will not allow this air from the lungs, the pulmonic egressive air stream, escape through the mouth. Say, for example, if we articulate the sound M, try to produce M, you will find that your lips are joining together, coming very close, thereby blocking the air completely. M, M. So when the consonant M is pronounced, there is a complete closure of air. Okay, complete closure of air. In case of P, articulate this sound P. If you put your hand in front of your mouth, you will see when you articulate P, P, just before the release of the air, there is a complete closure of the air. Once again, the lips are joined together to block the passage of air. And once the air is accumulated, there is a sudden release of the air. So if you keep your palm in front of your mouth and pronounce P, T, K, so you will find that there is some kind of explosion there. In case of P, this explosion is more. It strikes your hand because of the sudden release. So there is some kind of explosion involved in complete closure and sudden release. So there can be a very closure again. The soft palate can be raised in order to block the air and thereby shutting the nasal passage. And then we have the release of the air. The lungs air is blocked in the mouth. The oral closure is there. And when this oral closure is released, active articulator is suddenly removed from the passive articulator. The air can easily escape. There are so many sounds that are produced with a scripture of complete closure and sudden release. These consonantal sounds are called plosives. So in our own languages, Indian languages, we have so many sounds that are produced as plosives. Ka, kha, ga, dha, ta, da, na, ta, tha, da, dha, pa, fa, ba, bha. In our Devanagari symbols, we have these sounds. In our local languages, we have these sounds. And these are all plosives. For the production of these sounds, we have a complete closure and sudden release. So other Indian languages also contain such plosives. So this is the first form of stricture. That means the manner of articulation that involves a complete closure and a sudden release. Then we have a complete closure and slow release of the air. So the air that is there, the pulmonic air stream that is trying to escape, is blocked by the articulators. So after blocking it, the oral and nasal passages of air, we have a slow gradual release of the air. The oral closure is removed slowly. And if the active articulator is allowed to move in a very slow manner from the passive articulator, we do not have that explosive sound. Rather, there is a frictional sound that are produced with the scripture of complete closure and slow release. Okay, like cha, ja, cha, ja. So in case of cha and ja, we can feel that our active articulator, that means the tongue, is joining the passive articulator, that is the roof of the mouth. And there is a complete blockage of air because the active articulator is joining the passive articulator to block the air. And after that, there is a slow release of the air, of the pulmonic egressive air stream to the narrow gap in between the articulators to produce affricate sounds. So when we talk about chimpanzee, when we talk about jamming, so we are actually using the affricate sounds, ch and j, to produce such affricate there should be a complete closure and a slow release. The third type of manner of articulation can be labeled as complete oral closure, where we have the articulators coming very close, joining each other, and thereby blocking the oral passage. This can happen when the soft palate is lowered, or the tongue and the roof of the mouth come together, or the lips can join together to block the passage of pulmonic egressive air stream. So when we have this complete oral closure, the active articulator and passive articulators are in firm contact with each other. The oral passage is totally blocked. The soft palate is then lowered so that there is the velic opening. The velum is lowered, and thereby we have the velic opening, and the air passes through the nasal passage. I talked about the nasal sounds that are there in English RP: ma, n, ang. So these three nasal sounds are produced when the soft palate is lowered to allow the passage of air to the nasal passage. But before the soft palate is lowered, we have the articulators, either the lips or the front of the tongue or the back of the tongue, blocking the air, completely blocking the air, so that this oral air passage is not open. Air can escape only through the nasal passage. So in case of ma, 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 we find the lips are joining together to block the air, so that air stream to produce ma escapes through the nose. Although the vowel sound is there, required for the articulation of this consonant ma, for that sound, that is an oral sound, the lips are again open in order to release that part of air to produce a sound. In case of na, 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 we have the blade of the tongue touching the alveolar ridge, leaving a narrow gap in between. So the air is completely blocked, air cannot escape, and then we have the passage of the air through the nasal cavity with the lowering of the soft palate. In case of ang, you will clearly find that the back of the tongue is moving towards the soft palate, almost touching it. So when we articulate king, king, you will find that the back of the tongue has come very close to the roof of the mouth, the soft palate. Air is blocked. That air has to escape to the nasal passage because the oral cavity is totally blocked. And in case of ang, that air gets released through the nasal passage. So this is called complete closure. Apart from that, we also have a fourth type of manner of articulation called the intermittent closure. Intermittent is a word that refers to a kind of movement of the active articulator, okay, that allows the intermittent passage of the air. So active articulator can strike against the passive articulator in an intermittent way or intermittent closure. It can just strike it several times, with the result that the air escapes between the active and the passive articulators intermittently. So intermittent type of sound is produced. So this is also possible for the production of consonantal sounds, and with the structure of intermittent closure, we can have sounds that are called trills or rolled consonants. So sounds that are articulated with the help with a structure of intermittent closure are called trills or rolled sound. Produce this sound. Just produce r. Red. My love is like a red rose. Rattle, rattle, trill, letter. So you find that the active articulator, the tongue, intermittently closes and opens the gap between the active and the passive articulator. So this is called intermittent closure. And the sounds that are produced are called trills or rolled consonants in English RP. They can also be tap or flaps, tap or flap for the production of sounds. So say, for example, if you produce the sound rat, rat, rake, rot. So we have a flap, a tap, where the active articulator just taps the passive articulator and the air is allowed to escape. So there is no intermittent, okay, vibration, continuous vibration, rather a tap and flap. And therefore there is an intermittent closure. So such sounds called taps and flaps can also be produced with such a close approximation of the articulators and with a stricture of intermittent closure. Then we have the example of close approximation. Okay, in case of close approximation, the active articulators comes very close to the passive articulator. It comes so close to the passive articulator that there is a very narrow gap. A small narrow gap is there between the active and the passive articulator. The soft palate is raised in such a manner that the nasal passage of air is shut. The air has to escape through the narrow passage between the active and the passive articulators. So sounds that are articulated with the stricture of close approximation are called fricatives. Fricatives means frictional sounds, and such frictional sounds are produced when, with a stricture of close approximation, the air, the pulmonic egressive air stream, produces a friction passing through the gap between the articulators. The gap is very narrow. The initial sounds of English words, we have so many alveolar sounds, fricative sounds that are produced. So fricative sounds like fur. In case of fur, you find lower lip touching the upper teeth. Ver. In case of th, the front of the tongue, the tip of the tongue is touching the teeth. Thin. Then we articulate sa, z, sh, h. So we have these sounds that are produced with friction. Sa, ta, da, n, z, l. Sounds like this that are produced with the help of such friction. Such letters, such sounds are there in almost all the languages that help us to understand how the sounds are produced. So these strictures are very important in the study of the phonetic organization, the description of the consonantal sound. So there are so many aspects of the description of the consonantal sounds. Let us now just summarize what we have learned today. So we have classified 44 English phonemes into different types. The primary classification is that of the vowels and consonants. Then we went on to discuss and describe the consonants. And we also identified that there are different ways the consonants can be described and classified. So we found that all the consonants in English RP are produced with the help of pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. Then we also found that in case of English consonants, the vocal cords determine whether the sound is voiceless or voiced. When the glottis is wide open, the sound produced is voiceless sound. When the glottis is not clear and the vocal cords are loosely held together, there is the production of the voice sound. We also learned that the soft palate is raised or lowered, and by the raising of the soft palate, the nasal passage can be blocked. With the lowering of the soft palate, the oral passage can be blocked, and thereby we can have three different types of sounds: the oral sounds, the nasal sounds, and the nasalized sounds. In English RP, we have learned that there are 21 oral consonants 3 nasal consonants and there is no nasalized consonant. So we also have seen how the articulator that is active in the production of the sound is involved in the classification of consonants. So when we have the tip of the tongue acting as an active articulator, or the lower lip acting as an active articulator, the blade, the center of the tongue, the back of the tongue. So we have distinctive types of consonantal sounds produced with active articulators. The active articulators take a position near the passive articulator, and the passive articulator that is involved allows the air to pass through the gap with a vibration, with a friction, and the sound can be modified with the passive articulator. A sound like k and g involve the back of the roof of the mouth or the soft palate, while a sound like s, z, n involve the front of the roof of the mouth and the tongue, the front of the tongue. So according to the position or the place of articulation, consonants can be classified. Then we came to learn about the manner of articulation, and we found that there are different types or manners or structures that determine the sound. So when there is a complete closure and a sudden release, we have plosives. When there is a complete closure and a very slow release, we have affricates. When there is a closure, complete closure, and this is also allowing the soft palate to be lowered and the passage of the air through the nasal cavity. So complete closure, and we have a slow release through the nasal cavity. We also can have stricture that is intermittent. There can be tap, there can be trill, there can be roll, rill. So we have different types of sounds that are produced. So these sounds are classified according to various ways. And this is a part of our study. Next day, we will try to learn the symbols that are there for the understanding of the classification of consonants. So your task will be to learn the symbols. All the 24 consonants have distinctive symbols, and these symbols can be easily memorized by us if we take into account the original alphabets. So there are 21 alphabet that are consonants in English language, and these 21 sounds, alphabets, can correspond to 24 consonantal sounds that are there in English RP. As the difference is not like the difference that we found in vowel, only five vowel alphabets can produce 20 vowel sounds. In case of consonants, we have 21 alphabets capable of producing 24 consonantal sounds. So if we just make a list of the consonants in English RP, most of the consonants except consonant like X will have a vowel sound. Will have a consonantal sound, sorry, will have a consonantal sound. So except X, all the consonants in English letter system corresponds to a sound like B, S, K. These are distinctive sounds. D, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, R, S, Sh, T, Th, D, V, W, Z, Ch, Z, So these are the sounds that we have. Each sound has a symbol. So our task will now be to remember all the symbols that are there in the English RP. So we'll try to memorize 24 consonantal symbols and then go for an understanding reading of the classification of the sounds in our next class. Thank you very much for your attentive listening. Now I open the class for discussion. You can ask questions, any kind of doubt if you have. I can respond to that.